Good morning, you guys. Happy Tuesday. For today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my take on a minimalistic makeup collection. Now, if you are minimalistic, you're probably like, what? I don't think so. But I made a video like this last year, which I'll have linked down below. This would be my take if I was a makeup minimalist. I just don't see myself as someone who would have one of everything. I would still love to have a selection of stuff. So I think this kind of just sums up everything that I would have if I would have like a smaller collection. Also, I did post these tumblers on my Poshmark last night. If you guys missed it, it's up on my Poshmark. I'll have that linked below. Okay, so here's drawer number 1. I did get these organizers from Amazon. It came in a pack of like, I think 20 or something. So I'll have a link below. It came in a bunch of different sizes, which I love because, you know, you can kind of organize your drawers with all the sizes to fit different things. So here are the 4 primers that I chose. The All Nighter Ultra Glow primer has more of like an oily feel to it, so I love using it if I'm not really down to use an actual oil. I also have the e.l.f. All the Feels facial oil, which is and has been my favorite oil for a bit now. You could see here I finished up a decent amount. Fantastic under foundation, tinted moisturizer. The NYX Plump Right Back primer just has a really unique feel to it, and it's always just so much fun to use. It helps with pores and hydration, so I've been loving that one, and I feel like I would want to have it in my collection. And then I picked just a classic. This is the Tatcha, the Silk Canvas. Whenever I don't know what I want to wear, or whenever I just need something solid and not like, you know, to work with really any foundation, I use that. Next, we'll speak about powder. So I have 3 powders here and then 1 loose. The loose powder I have here is from Laura y. This is just a classic. I've gone through multiples of these in the past. It's fantastic to set your entire face and nice to set under the eye area to bake. It's not the thickest formula, but it's not the thinnest either. I just find that it's like perfectly in the middle there, so love that. The Kosas Cloud Set Powder is a really nice one to kind of dust all over the face if you want to set everything in a very light way. It doesn't really give a ton of coverage, and it's more of like a mattifying powder, but it's not overly. So I feel like I can kind of get away with this even if I have dry skin, especially in the summer-ish times. I also have the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Powder here. This is a classic that I feel like I've been loving for the past little while. It adds a drop of coverage, but I feel like it really just sets everything in and creates just, yeah, a flawless effect. I think this is great if you have oily or dry skin. They have this in the regular packaging, but I just got the limited edition lunar one just because why not? And then I, of course, have my Fenty powder here as well, which is an obsession of mine. I feel like once this is, you know, once I'm going to complete this, I'm definitely going to have to purchase it again. From all the powders I showed, this right here has the most coverage. So great to wear on those days where you want a little bit more coverage, or if you want to just wear this with maybe concealer. It's fantastic really anyway, so I love that. Next, we're going to dive into foundations, BB creams, tinted moisturizers, and concealers. This is the Bare Look Tint by YSL. You can see here I do have a little bit of a dent, I would say. Love this for a medium coverage look. It has more of like a satin finish on. Very comfortable, easy to build up, and last throughout the day, so I'm obsessed with that. I also pulled out the Milani Glow Hydrating Skin Tint. This gives you very, very light coverage, and it's pretty glowy too. So I like to wear this sometimes on its own. If I want like a fuller coverage, I'll go on with something like this, and then like the YSL one. I love the finish on the skin. It's very like healthy looking. So I like that. This Rose Ink Skin Enhancer type of product is great. First of all, I love that you can kind of see the product go up as you use it. It comes with a pump. Very, very light coverage, barely light. But I like to use it as more of like a hydrating, almost primer in a way, but also like a skin tint as well. It definitely has more lighter coverage than the Glow product by Milani, but depending on, you know, what I'm going for that day, this might work. But love the consistency, blends out really well and looks pretty on the skin. I also pulled out the Fenty Skin Eavesdrop, what is this called exactly? Skin tint. This is probably my favorite skin tint ever. I feel like it gives you more like a satin finish, not too matte, not too glowy. With the products that I pulled out, I feel like I can kind of make it glowy if I want to, but it does blur out. I feel like I could really see a difference, and it gives you pretty decent coverage for a skin tint. Plus it's lightweight and it feels solid on the face, and I like the packaging too. It's like, you know, mushy and it shakes too. Yeah, okay. I also pulled out a full coverage foundation just because if I would be a makeup minimalist, I feel like I would need to have a full coverage foundation in my collection just for those days where I need that or I would want to go for that look. This is the Soft Matte Complete Foundation by NARS. It gives you more of like a soft matte finish, but it's not overly like drying on the face. It looks pretty good and like beyond flawless on the skin. So super full coverage if you're looking for something like that. I like this one a lot. As for concealers, I picked out 3. I honestly go through concealers, like I change between them quite often, but these have been like favorites of mine for a while. So the Nude Sticks Cream Concealer is amazing. I don't know why I didn't hear anyone speak about this. I picked up the small size from Sephora. They have a full size too, but it's amazing at hydrating the under eye area and giving you medium coverage. I feel like it could be built up to medium. Sits beautifully and feels very light on, so obsessed with that. I also have these two. So the True Skin Catrice Concealer, which I've been using for months now. Amazing full coverage. Hydrating, but not as hydrating as this one. Great to mix and match, but also nice to wear on its own. And then the Ultra Creamy Concealer by Tarte is just a classic of mine that I just always like to have on hand. It has a drop more coverage than the Catrice, but they actually are both very similar when it comes to coverage and how it sits on the skin. Okay, next we have the little bronzer section. This right here is the Physicians Formula Sprinkles like Butter Bronzer. Firstly, it smells amazing. Available on Ulta. I really enjoy using this. I find that it's super smooth, builds up well, and lasts throughout the day. It's also not too cool and not too warm, so I just feel like it's all around a solid bronzer. Physicians Formula really has it down with their bronzers. I also had to pull out the Gucci bronzer. This is in the shade 03. I like this one. It's not my ultimate absolute favorite, but because I did spend a pretty penny on this one, it is one that I would love to keep in my collection. I still enjoy it from time to time, but there are other bronzers that I prefer more than this one, but it's still pretty good. So it has a matte, slightly satin finish to it. Very pigmented, so a little bit goes a long way. And I kind of like how it like opens up here. So you can put like lashes and stuff there, but definitely luxurious. When you use it, you feel a certain way. For cream bronzer, I did pull out the Kaja one. I recently picked up a few from Sephora, which I have to hold, so that's why they're not in here. But I actually really love this. It has like a little star stamp to it. I don't really use the stamp as much. I just dip my brush in the cream part, in the spongy part, and then apply it on my face. This is in 02 Toasty. It blends out seamlessly, very easy, and it looks great on the skin. So I love that because it's so simple to use. And then I pulled out these two. So the Nabla bronzer is more of like a cool tone bronzer. It's in this shade Soft Revenge. Soft Revenge. I do have a little bit of progress here, as you guys can see, but also nice, smooth, pretty. If I'm going for a little more of a cooler tone look, this is one that I go for, and also builds up well and lasts. And then I had to include my Hourglass bronzer. This is an ambient light. You can see here I pretty much hit pan over there. Practically almost done, but every time I use this, I'm like, I fall more and more in love, and I can't remember why I actually stopped using it. This has the prettiest finish on the skin. The formula is extremely unique. I constantly mention this, but Hourglass products are 10 out of 10 usually, so I pulled that out too. Then we're up to the highlighter section. So I picked out also just a few. Cookie highlighter is just a classic, a staple of mine. I hit pan on this. Amazing to wear lightly or build up if you're interested in wearing it more in a pigmented way. I also have Makeup by Mario highlighter here in Pearl. This fell so many times. I'm so surprised that it's not like shattered. Also very pretty, similar to the Cookie highlighter in tone, but slightly different. Has an amazing formula to it. It's one of my favorites. I have the liquid highlighter here in Monroe by Ofra Cosmetics. This is very pretty to wear with your foundation if you want it to be a drop more glowier. Pretty to wear as a base for highlighter or on its own. So I've been really liking that. Also the Charlotte Tilbury Glow Wand in Spotlight. This has been so popular lately, and I've actually been enjoying like using it for like a nice lightish type of highlighted effect. I like to use it on its own, but sometimes I'll mix it in with powder highlighter. And then I had to include something Ofra related when it comes to their highlighters, like their powder highlighters, because they really have a solid formula, and I felt like this palette was great because you get 5 in 1. You can mix and match, and this right here is called the Ofra Glow Signature Palette. Love this. Okay, then the final container in this drawer is this one. I pretty much have most of my blushes, creams, and powders, and some face palettes as well. So these are the Benefit Play Tints. Well, Play Tint and Love Tint. Solid formula, by the way, cream blushes that blend out seamlessly, even for this deeper red shade. If you have a lighter skin tone and you're looking for that kind of color, but it was always hard for you to blend out, this is amazing. I have to show you guys how it looks in a Get Ready With Me video, but love these. You can use them for the lips too. So good. The e.l.f. Electric Mood palette here is a really good one, which I've just been enjoying a lot. You get a blush, bronzer, highlighter, and another blush. It's more of a like lighter tone palette, so for those days where I'm not going for a full in-depth look, you can also use these as bases and go on top with powder products if you want to intensify the look. I also pulled out my Tower 28 blush. This is a brand new one. I recently finished off my other one. This is in Magic Hour, my favorite shade from their line. I think it's the best one ever, so I'm happy to have a new one. I feel like it needs to always be in my collection. I also have these new Benefit blushes, which I did a video on already, kind of like swatching them and briefly speaking about them. So I will say I love most of them, but these are probably my favorite. Butterfly, because as you guys can see here, it's such a unique shade. It's like a burnt orange with little specks of glitter. So pretty. I don't see a lot of that. And then Shelly is like a seashell pink. Ooh, mouthful. Say that 10 times. And this is so pretty. It built up amazingly. I think I wore this in yesterday's video, if I'm not mistaken, and then the day before that. So it built up really well, but you could wear it sheer too, and I just love the color. Next, I have this by Kaja. This is their blush, highlighter, and bronzer little stack. I think this is fantastic because it's great for traveling. All of the shades work out really, really well. And you get two finishes. You get the powder finishes for the blush and highlighter, and then the bronzer is a cream. So an absolute win. It's small, compact, very, very cute. I have another blush here by Physicians Formula. This is the Strawberry Jam one. So initially it had strawberries all over, but as you kind of dip your brush in there, the strawberries vanish. It smells like strawberries though, which is a win. And it's very pretty on the skin. I also pulled out this Pixie palette, which I love. I feel like it's such an underrated palette, but it's so stunning. This blush is everything. It's like luminous, but I feel like it doesn't emphasize texture. We get a highlighter, and then a bronzer. Super pretty, and they have two different color stories to choose from. This specifically is in Sugar Blossom, but they have a different one. I think a deeper one for those who have a deeper skin tone. So love this. I think it's available on Target and Ulta. I also pulled out the Charlotte Tilbury face palette here, which I've been traveling a lot with because it just has everything in one. So you get your bronzer, eyeshadows, blush, and a face powder. Typically when I use this, I use the bronzer, blush, and sometimes the shadows. I don't really use the face powder as much, but it's a nice go-to, well-rounded palette to just grab and go with if you want most goods in one. And I love the formula. It's amazing. So we have that, and then we have the Hourglass face palette, which is one that I feel like I would love to always have in my collection. I mean, the pan sizes are a bit small, but Hourglass powders are fantastic. This is actually on sale now for 56 bucks. Originally it was 80. It's on sale at Ulta. I spoke about it on my community tab. You get a like face powder, a blush, also like a face powder slash highlighter, and then a bronzer. Love it. So that's pretty much it when it comes to what's in this drawer. Now let's hop on to the next. Okay, and then here is what the second drawer looks like. This drawer is a bit more jam-packed. We have like the lip products, brow products, eyeshadows, and mists in this drawer. Okay, so let's get started with the mists first. I have the Urban Decay All Nighter, which is just a classic go-to for me. I've been using this for years. It's just a good one that I love using when I don't know what else to use and I need my makeup to last. This is just always a win. I have the Tula Signature Glow Mist as well. I feel like this does prolong the wear of your makeup, but more than anything, it actually gives you a very dewy effect. Not oily, just very, very dewy. So love that, and you can see here halfway through with that. And then I have the YSL New Dewy Mist. So this does also set your makeup in, and it gives you a dewy mist. Not as dewy as the Tula. The dewy is definitely more, but this gives you just like a hint of it, and I feel like it's very, very pretty on. So I have the 3 different types of mists here. Next, we're gonna hop into this little bin here, which includes my mascaras and liners. So firstly, I have this Natasha Denona gel liner. I don't use gel liner all that often, but I would love to kind of have it on hand in case I would need it. So I love a Natasha one. It's very creamy, but also lasts. Other liners I have here are these. So I would have a handful of liners on hand from black to various different colors, just because it really is a product that I use 97% of the time. So I have the Gwen Stefani eyeliner here in black. It's super creamy, but lasts. Love that one. 2 liquid liners here, one from Ofra, and the Makeup by Mario one is amazing. Wow. I also have this Sephora collection one, which I love, but there's a retractable one that I love more just because it's retractable, but I just finished those off, so I have this one for now. Sephora collection makes really good liners. And then I just have these, a cobalt blue from Maybelline in the shade, let's see, Lustrous Sapphire. I have a lighter, like tealish blue from Colourpop and Catsuit. I have a purple one in Fix on Plum by Milani, and then this brown one by Colourpop, which I've been enjoying wearing brown liners from time to time. This is in Jumper. For mascaras, I feel like I would have at least 3 on hand. The Double Trouble one from Essence has quickly become one of my favorites. It has a natural and rubber bristled wand, super cool. So been loving that. The Essence Lash Princess in the green packaging is my favorite, but I finished off like 3 recently, so I don't have those, and I want to try to get through a few more before I buy more. But the Lash Princess orange one is pretty good too. So I have that one, and then L'Oreal Lash Paradise is just a good one that I recently started using, so I have that too. Now on to eyeshadow palettes. I did pick one almost from every category. I'll show you guys, you'll see. But I just feel like if I would be a minimalist when it comes to makeup, I would still feel like I need to have some color options. Like I wouldn't be able to wear neutrals for the rest of my life. I just wouldn't. I just don't think. Okay, so first up, I have the Naked Urban Decay Honey palette. This is one of my favorites from Urban Decay. It is just so pretty. Leans a bit more cooler in tone, but I love the metallics in here, especially the shade Honey is so beyond pretty. I wore this in the past few videos and you guys were obsessed. Beautiful on. One of my favorites. I also have the Pat McGrath Utopian Dream eyeshadow palette. This just hits home in so many different ways. I love how these sparkly glittery shades just sparkle and glisten. I like how you get a nice selection of mattes too, and every time I use this I come up with really unique looks. Next I have a Natasha Denona face palette. This is a really good one because you get a blush, highlighter, and then 5 shadows. I wish she would have made these pan sizes a drop smaller, or maybe even kept it the same but moved them over to the side and put like a box bronzer in the middle. This would have been absolute, like really, like it would be no words. It would be complete in every way possible because it's a perfect face palette and eye palette, but the bronzer is just missing. I guess I could use this, but to get my brush in there will take forever. Anyway, so I do like this one. This is the lighter version. I know she has a deeper one as well, but I would have this in my collection. Next, I have the Patrick Ta Rose palette. It was between this one and the original one, but I actually think I like the second edition, which is this one more, the rosy tones, just because I could still get more of like a bronzy look with this, but I can add in a hint of rose if I want to, and I just feel like I prefer this palette over the first one when it comes to the color selection. So, love. Next, I have the Urban Decay Naked Wild West. This came out, I want to say last year. I love this. I feel like it has so much different color options to choose from. You have your cool tones, slightly more warm tones here, blues, browns, oranges, silvers, golds, and just the looks that come up with this one. Like whenever I use it, I'm obsessed, and it always like surprises me. I also have the Natasha Denona Glam palette. I felt like I would need to have like a good, solid, cool tone palette that I feel confident in, that I enjoy the formula of, so this is definitely it. Anytime I'm going for a cool tone look, I'm 99% of the time using this one. Next, I have the Colourpop and Tinkerbell palette. This is probably one of my favorite palettes when it comes to palettes Colourpop released. The formula of this is next level, and just the way these shades look on the eye, so pretty. I don't think I've ever fallen more in love with a green palette than I did with this one. Plus, I like that it has browns too, so you can kind of like just, oh my gosh, this is such an earthy tone palette. It has more greens, but it still has like that earthy green and brown like vibe to it, which I'm obsessed with. This is what I wanted the Naked no, the Wild Greens palette to be by Urban Decay, minus like maybe this green and like, I don't know, maybe the gold, let's say, but like deeper browns, vibrant greens, just things like that. So love, like my favorite one from them. I also have two Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes here. So I have the Xenon palette. I have a first impression up on this. Loved the look I came up with in that video. So it's a color tone palette, but very different than the Glam palette, I want to say. So that's why I pulled it out. The middle shade here could look more gray or blue, depending on what other shades you use it with. But you still get very different looks with this compared to the Glam palette. And then also, I feel like a black is always just a good essential shade to have. I don't use it all the time, but I like to have it on hand. So I pulled that out, and then in the Natasha Denona Love palette, Mini Love. Ironically, I actually do not like the full regular Love palette by Natasha Denona. It's my least favorite $65 pan palette. This is my favorite 5-pan palette from her, and it's from the same Love line. So yeah, you could see I hit pan on this one. I spoke to you guys about this in my makeup I almost finished up video. I have the mattes here and then some satin metallics shades here. This is so pretty on the eyes. I love the tones. I would always need to have that. It's everything to me. This is a newer love of mine. It's the Ultimate Clean NYX palette. I just think it's an easy go-to fast simple palette that I just love to use if I'm going for like a 1, 2, 3 look. This shade right here is beautiful. I wear that a lot just with like lashes, liner, and I'm done. And then the metallics in here are very pretty. They're not like the most metallic-y, but they're very nice. And then when you wet them, you can kick it up a notch. So I love the color story. I just think it's a good easy one, and it's compact too. And then I have my eyeshadow palette with Ofra Cosmetics. It wouldn't make sense for this not to be in here. So this palette is not limited edition. It's actually so like gross and dirty, but whatever. Okay, so here is what the palette looks like. I showed you guys progress on this a bit ago. I haven't used it in a minute, but I've been dipping into like the purple shades and like these shades, not so much these and these. The highlighters I love. I love the face powders a ton. But yeah, this is my palette that I created with Ofra Cosmetics. If you guys are new to it, it's not limited edition. You can get it anytime with my name, Liora, for an additional 20% off. But this is also just a good all over face and eye palette, so I could travel with this too and just know I have everything in one. So that's pretty much it when it comes to palettes, yeah. Okay, next we're gonna hop into brow products. Just put these lip liners here. Wait, my lip liners. So here are the brow products that I feel like I would always want to have on hand. These are staples of mine and I constantly use these. So first up we have the CoverGirl Brow Pencil, which I only use if I'm doing more of a defined brow, which lately I haven't been doing, but I would still want to have it on hand in case. I also have the e.l.f. Brow Wow. Beep beep. So this is great to kind of just brush in the brows. It has little fibers, so it creates like a thickness in the brows in a way, and it makes it look fuller. The Milani Weekend Brow has been a repurchase of mine for a while now. It's what I use to kind of flick up my brows to make it look more like hairy, if you will. So love that. It's like my second or third one. Easy formula to work with. This is the, okay, not sure what's up. Okay, next we have the Brow Glue by NYX. Halfway through with this one. It's just a nice, good, clear brow gel, which is always nice to have on hand. And then the Highbrow by Benefit, I like to highlight my brow bone with to create like a little bit more of a cleaner look. So I really love this one. All right, and then finally, I think the last thing we're up to is lip products. I only pulled out 4 lip liners. I'll be honest, I'm into lip liners, but then sometimes I just feel like it's a little bit of a hassle to apply sometimes. So I use them at times, but not every time. I love, love, love the Makeup by Mario one. These are amazing. They come with a sharpener when you purchase them, by the way. So it's almost like you get a 2-in-1. On one side, you also have like the brush. And then on the other side, you actually have, yeah, the lip liner. So this one right here is in Lauren, I want to say. Yeah, Lauren is my Starbucks name because they never know how to say Liora. So I'm like, it's just Lauren. Last time, what did I say? I said Martha. And she's like, Martha. And I was like, who's Martha? Like, she kept yelling Martha. I'm like, oh, it's me. Anyways, so we also have the shade Chris here, which is like a deeper burgundy type of color, which I haven't used as much, but I think it's a great full shade. But I really love his formula when it comes to his lip liners. They're solid. I also have, these are just classics. I always include them in pretty much any video, like of any sort. The lip liner in Pillow Talk by Charlotte Tilbury, and then the lip liner by Pat McGrath in the shade Contour. The Pat McGrath one is cool tone. It's nude, like brownish, and then the Charlotte one is pink. I just feel like good shades to pair with a lot. Okay, we're gonna move into this little bin first. I have one of the Patrick Top Plumping glosses here. This is in the shade Pouty. It's a really pretty baby pink. I have the NYX, this is Juice Gloss. It's just a clear gloss in Coconut Chill. I think I have another one of this one. But anyway, I have one of the gloss shots in Milk Tea Heaven shade. I have the Keep It Max Milani lip plumping product. Lip gloss basically in the shade Little Secret. It really plumps up to no end, but it's not that painful, I would say. I love these by e.l.f. the keychain glosses. So I picked out the orange one. I love them, they're great quality. And then this is a new gloss by Physicians Formula. It smells like watermelon and it's legit always such a breeze to put on. They have this and 2 other shades to choose from. So I had to have some watermelon vibes in my life. Next, moving into this bin here, which includes more glosses. I recently did a lipstick declutter video and a gloss declutter video, and I kept a lot of glosses because it's really a lip product that I wear a lot of. So I have 2 from Tower 28. These are my favorites, I want to say. So I have the clear one in the shade Chill. It's like an oil slash gloss. And then I have this one in Pistachio. It's a really nice light nude color that goes with a ton. I have a Flexi Slick Stick here by Ofra in the shade Fuzzy. We call my niece Fuzzy, so it just hits home. And I love their Flexi Slicks. It's like a hybrid between a gloss and a liquid lipstick, but it like it lasts a long time. It kind of gives you like a little bit of a stain, so I love that. Urban Decay gloss, which is actually on sale at Ulta now in the shade Name Drop. Great. It also has a plumping effect, if I remember correctly. The train is passing, so hopefully that's not annoying. And then I have these Fenty glosses, which I love her formula. I have the cream one here in the shade Cupcakin, like Hev. It's like a nice, like dusty pink. And then we have the Fussy Lip Gloss, which is just a classic. We have one more bin of lip products to go through. Okay, and then this is the final lip container I have here. Yes, a bit much, but you know what I'm saying. All right. First of all, you guys have to try these. This is the brand new Diamond Plumping Lip Plumper Glosses by Physicians Formula. This is absolutely the best lip plumper I've ever tried in my life. I'll tell you why. It gives you a plumping effect, but you do not feel massive pain, but it does so much for the lips. They have 3 different shades to choose from. The middle one is so pretty. It's like a iridescent glittery shade, but it's not gritty. A nude, and then this plummy type of color. Like this sets a different tone to plumping lip products. It's even better than the Milani one, I would say, which I still like the Milani one. And the Urban Decay one, these hit absolute home. I was shocked at how amazing they were. I'm like, there's absolutely no way, but there actually is a way. I have the Makeup by Mario liquid lipstick, which I haven't given enough love to, but it's a good formula. I have some of these like lip balmy-ish type of products, which I love. They're just easy to throw on. The Rare Beauty one in the shade, what is this? Praise. You know, I love these kind of colors, like a apricot type of shade. I have one by Fenty Beauty in the shade Glazed, also similar shade, but it has a little specks of glitter, but it's not that noticeable, and a little bit more shinier than the Fenty. And then NARS Orgasm. I felt like this is a classic to just have. It's a good like lip balm also. Speaking of lip balms, I have, these 2. Blistex, just a good classic for when my lips are ultra chapped and I need something that will like kick butt ASAP. I have the Patrick Ta one as well. This is the She's Juicy Lip Mask. I love this. It smells really, really good. I put like a little end of a brush in there to kind of see how deep it actually is, but it's pretty deep. You get a lot of product in here and a little bit goes a long way. I like to use this during the day, but also at night. Feels luxurious and amazing on. I have my liquid lipstick with Ofra in the shade Liora. I created this with them. It's available on their site. It's the most perfect pink color. I wore that actually by my engagement party. I have the Perfect Red Liquid Lipstick by Fenty Beauty. This is in Uncensored. I don't wear red often, but it's one I would have in my collection. If you can see here, most of these are like nudes and pinks, and I don't have a lot of these kind of colors or berry tones because I just don't really wear them as much, but it's always just, it's nice to have a red. You never know. I have this lipstick here by Urban Decay in Naked. It's a really pretty nude mauve shade. Next, I have a Pomegranate lipstick here in Donatella. This is a great lipstick to pair with the lip liner and contour. It's a little bit more of a cooler tone, dusty brown-ish. Gray almost? Not really, but you know. Next, I have the Strip Search lipstick here by Too Faced. I don't know if they discontinued these, but I love the formula because it's so creamy. So I have that. One of the Fenty lipsticks. This is my favorite shade in... Oh, Mother Lover. It's just a nude peach almost. Yeah, I picked a lot of shades like this, but realistically, that's really what I wear. Then I have this Natasha Denona lipstick here in Maria. It's a very light nude. My favorite MAC lipstick ever. It was my first MAC lipstick in Snob. It's a bubblegum pink. This is a Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk dupe by Flower Beauty in the shade Spiced Petal. Literally spot on if you don't want to spend X amount on the Charlotte one. I didn't pull out Pillow Talk because I had a lip liner, then I have this, which is pretty much like Pillow Talk. So I picked out the shade Very Victoria by Charlotte. And then I have a very bright pink here by YSL. This is like one of my favorites. It's in Rouge Volupte number 7. I love these kind of colors. And then I forgot to show this one. This is an Ofra Liquid Lipstick in Manhattan, which is like a plummy-ish type of color. But that is pretty much it. That is my minimalistic makeup collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. So like I mentioned in the beginning, I have a video like this that I did last year, pretty much around this time. It's interesting to see what products stay tried and true for the whole year. And I just feel like I need to always have in my life. But it's also interesting to see how things kind of switched up just a little bit. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know your thoughts and comments below. Looking forward to reading your comments. And I'll see you guys in my next video.